Yeah.
Would everyone please remain standing to welcome the platform party?
Wajou Wache, good morning everyone. Please join Ms. Dahlia Steinitz in the singing of our national anthem, and please remain standing during the performance of the Stillwater Drummers.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard
Thank you, Niawan. Please be seated. Welcome to the Loyalist College of Applied Arts and Technology 2022 Convocation. My name is Sean Monteith, and as the proud Senior Vice President Academic, it is my pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies for this morning's proceedings. This morning, we are recognizing graduates of the School of Media, Business, and Access. It is now my pleasure to introduce Pam Joliffe, Chair of the Board of Governors, who will officially open Convocation.
Thank you, Vice President Monteith. Good morning, everyone. As we open today's convocation proceedings, I would like to recognize that Loyalist College is located on the territory of the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabeg, and the Haudenosaunee people. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. And I now declare the 55th Convocation of Loyalist College officially opened. On behalf of the Board of Governors, it's my privilege to welcome you to this day of celebration and to extend a very special welcome to you, our graduates. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to the special guests in our platform party, as well as friends and family, community partners, donors, faculty and staff who've all been an integral part of our graduating students' post-secondary journey. Convocation is an incredible milestone to have reached, and we are all delighted to share in this celebration with you. I know I speak for all the members of the board when I say we're immensely proud of each and every one of you and how much you've accomplished in order to be here with us today. Loyalist College is a remarkable place, an innovative, inspiring, and caring community with a welcoming culture and a supportive environment in which students develop into confident leaders, creative thinkers, and change makers. I'm so proud to be part of a board of an institution that has such an unwavering commitment to student success and to your overall well-being. When I think about the past year, I'm really astounded by what we've collectively navigated and how much we've been able to achieve in the midst of it. It's been incredible to witness each of you persevere through uncertainty, embrace challenges, and remain dedicated to your studies so that you could arrive here at your graduation before you go on to what I hope will be fulfilling careers. What's even more amazing is the way in which Loyalist students stepped up to support the community during the pandemic, from administering vaccinations in our on-campus immunization clinic to building a warming shelter for the Quinte Healthcare's COVID-19 testing site, and baking hundreds of cupcakes for stranded cruise ship passengers at CFB Trenton. These have been once-in-a-lifetime experiential learning opportunities for all of you. I'm confident that you're graduating equipped with the knowledge and skills you need to make a positive impact in your communities, to succeed in your careers, and to find fulfillment on whatever path you choose. It's a very interesting time to be graduating, as there's so much uncertainty in the world, and yet still so much hope and change as we look to the future. As you move forward into the workforce, I encourage you to consider the many ways in which you can engage with the wider community, even beyond work, and be part of that hope and change. And as you move on from Loyalists, we really hope you will stay in touch with the college, connected to us, and know that you will always have a family of supporters here to uplift and celebrate you. So my very best wishes and congratulations to you all on this momentous occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Joliffe. I would now like to call upon President Dr. Anne-Marie Vaughan, who will address the graduates. President Vaughan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 55th Convocation of Loyalist College. Chair Pam Joliffe, Ms. Pulfer, members of the board, distinguished guests, Loyalist colleagues, and graduates of the graduating class of 2022. We are Loyalist College, and we are small. Small gives us the power to do big things, things that make a big difference to our community, partners, and to you, our students. By now, you've seen and experienced and felt the benefits of small. The rustle of leaves away from the bustle of the big city. Being a name, not a number to your teachers. Connecting over coffee with your classmates. And it's the small things that got you here. The extra hour studying, the courage to ask questions, the smile to a stranger who soon became a friend. But the real power of small is what it prepares you for. The big things that are coming your way, the big impact you are about to make. All of it, the small classes, small campus, small community, was designed to help prepare you for the big things that I know you will accomplish. So congratulations. This is a huge accomplishment, a major milestone in your journey to career destination. While today may mark the end of your time at Loyalist, this moment is your beginning of everything else. Welcome to your beginning, excuse me. Welcome to your beginning of big. Today, I'm especially proud of each of you for your tremendous resiliency and dedication to your studies. And I carry this pride with me each day and every day as President and CEO of Loyalist College, as I walk through the halls and see just how tight-knit and connected our campus community is. I see the small acts of kindness we exchange every day. We are truly a community college that cares, and we live this core value every day in everything we do. From the ways in which each of you care for your peers, the ways that faculty and staff are singularly focused on your success, and how both students and employees of Loyalist supported our surrounding communities over the last 2 years. Because small means being resilient. Throughout the pandemic, our small college has made a big impact when our communities needed us the most, giving our time, expertise, and care to help address everything from equipment scarcity and mass immunization efforts to food insecurity and local labor shortages. In fact, in March 2021, when our communities needed space and human resources to mount mass immunization clinics, Loyalist College answered the call and within 48 hours set up a clinic right here in this gymnasium with our exceptional employees leading the way and 90 students employed in that clinic. Together, we provided 50,000 vaccinations over a 5-month period. Then, in December 2021, this time with 24 hours notice, we did it again. This time with 60 students, mostly on the front line providing immunizations, offering 10,000 vaccinations. That's 60,000 vaccinations right here at Loyalist College. Your dedication and work have made Loyalist a force of good in this community, and the close relationships we forged allow us to create better opportunities for you to learn in the field, in the real world. Small means being a connected, caring community. Right now, graduates, I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on the exceptional contributions the entire graduating class makes every day in our communities. Our graduates deliver the services we need in health and policing, human studies, engineering, media arts, and applied sciences. They are groundbreaking innovators in data science, mechatronics, and cybersecurity. They are entrepreneurs. They are community leaders, and they keep our economy and our society moving each and every day. Small is powerful, and you're all the proof we need. That's why we've always invested heavily in our students with over $1 million in student funding each year and modernized facilities for the best learning environment. Because we know and believe there will be limitless returns as you all reach your endless potential. Ultimately, small empowers you to be successful. Every day I'm amazed to hear about the accomplishments of Loyalist graduates. Our grads go on to be innovators, disruptors, and change makers. And you can find your peers working in virtually every industry across our province, across this country, and indeed around the world. Every small measure we've taken here, every detail we've paid attention to, creates bigger and bigger impacts beyond this campus as you go on to accomplish the amazing things that I know you will. That is why we have one of the top employment rates in this province, and that is why student, graduate, and employer satisfaction rates are off the charts. We are small, so you can do big things. I am so delighted you chose Loyalist College as your launchpad to catapult you into the next big thing, and I hope you're as delighted as we are. Now, I know this is your graduation day, but before you leave here, I have some homework for you. Wear your Loyalist badge and wear it with pride. It's time to start telling your own story. And as you tell it, I hope you will share with others the power of our small, mighty college. You are all our ambassadors, and you will always be a part of our amazing and quickly growing community of almost 50,000 Loyalist alumni from over the past 55 years. You are the ones that can show the rest of the world what Loyalist is made of. I personally can't wait to hear your stories about your big accomplishments. Having had the opportunity to connect with many of you personally, I know your own stories, and I know they will inspire many others and continue to make your Loyalist College community very proud. Be sure to tell us about them and keep in touch. And each time you're faced with a big opportunity, we hope you remember the greatest lesson learned here: start small. Our doors are always open to you, so enjoy this big day with your family and friends, and thank you for being a part of ours. Here's to your beginning of big. Congratulations to you, the Loyalist College graduating class of 2022. It is now my privilege to introduce our guest speaker for this morning. Rachel Pulfer has been Executive Director of Journalists for Human Rights since 2011, which is Canada's leading media development organization that trains journalists to report on human rights and governance issues in their communities and runs programs in Africa, the Middle East, and right here at home in Canada with the Indigenous Reports Program and Misinformation Campaign. Most recently, Ms. Pulfer has been spearheading efforts with the civil society and media organizations to evacuate journalists from Afghanistan and the Ukraine. Under her leadership, JHR expanded to 4 continents and won several regional and national awards, including the Bill Hutton Award for Excellence in Journalism from the Radio Television Digital News Association of Canada, Ontario Heritage and Innovation Awards for the Indigenous Reporters Program, and Governor-General's Award for Services to the People of Ghana. She appears on CTV News as a commentator on media, international development, and press freedom issues, and regularly contributes op-eds and feature articles to the Toronto Star, Globe, and Globe and Mail. Previously a print reporter and magazine journalist, Ms. Pulfer was the 2009-2010 Webster McConnell Fellow at Massey College at the University of Toronto. She was a columnist and U.S. correspondent for Canadian Business Magazine and continues to work as a journalist writing op-eds and features for the Walrus, Globe and Mail, Toronto Star, Azure, and many other publications. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, a truly distinguished Canadian doing remarkable things around the world, Ms. Rachel Pulfer.
Thank you so much, President Vaughan. We sound like someone I don't know. Chair Joliffe, President Vaughan, Senior Vice President, Academic Monteith, deans, parents, and most importantly, graduates. My name is Rachel Pulfer, and I'm the Executive Director of Journalists for Human Rights. And it is an incredible honor for me to be here today in the Bay of Quinte region, one of the most beautiful parts of Ontario. My husband and I have been coming to this region every summer since before we had kids. So for me, it's a special treat to be back here to meet and speak with you, the next generation of journalists. This convocation comes at a time when journalism's future seems bleak indeed. I was like you once, graduating from J school, hustling for my first internship, hoping my French was good enough to be a daily reporter in Montreal. Full disclosure, it wasn't. Wondering what the future was likely to hold. But I'm here now 20 years later to reaffirm that indeed, journalism and all who care about it does have a future, a very important future. And you have chosen one of the most important career paths in a democracy, with as many ways into this field as there are people in this auditorium. Currently, I run Journalists for Human Rights. The organization trains journalists worldwide to center human rights in coverage. Over 20 years, we've worked in 31 different countries and trained over 18,000 local journalists whose stories have reached approximately 75 million people. Didn't start out that way, though. I grew up in Southern Africa, in Lesotho and Swaziland at the height of apartheid. It was an experience that fundamentally shaped me. When I was 7, I told my mother that I'd like to take my friends, who were Ugandan and Basotho, to lunch in Ladybrand, a small town just over the border in South Africa. You can't, she said. Why not? I asked. Because, she said, you are white, they are black. And in South Africa at that time, it was against the law for races to mix, even to share a table at a restaurant. That, at the age of 7, taught me a fair bit about racial injustice. My parents were news junkies. Canada was calling for sanctions on the apartheid regime. I remember Canadian magazines and the Globe and Mail arriving at our house in Lesotho with entire segments on South Africa blacked out by their censors. I thought it was fascinating that this terrifying government next door, the one sending parcel bombs to the parents of friends of mine, was so frightened of what journalists in other countries wrote about it that it blacked out their words. I remember looking at the bylines and wanting to do that. That was the power of story, to inform and enlighten, the power of story for good. So I became a journalist. I worked my way up from that first gig at the Montreal Gazette, frantically paging through a dictionary trying to find the meaning of the word prestation at a news conference in Montreal, to U.S. correspondent, editorial board member, and columnist at Canadian Business Magazine. But then the job at JHR came up. A chance to use journalism to help strengthen the media's ability to stand up to corruption at the bottom of the Human Development Index. I jumped on board, and it was first stop, Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo. By then, I'd learned enough French to understand and to make myself understood. And a career highlight later was making a speech to a group of Congolese journalists that started with a rousing greeting in Lingala. For those of you learning languages here, stick with it. It opens doors in ways you can't even imagine. I took over JHR in 2011. Been the length and breadth of Africa at that point, and everywhere I went, local journalists asked me about the systemic human rights issues going on, in particular with Indigenous peoples at home in Canada. So I decided to bring JHR's programming home. Some of the systemic barriers to opportunity that Indigenous peoples faced in Canada were eerily similar to what my friends had faced in South Africa. And it turns out, doing some research, that the Group Areas Act, the 1951 legislation that formed the legal basis of apartheid, was actually inspired and partially informed by Canada's Indian Act. One of those sets of legislation has been repealed. The other remains the law of the land. I'll leave it to you to figure out which is which. Out of this research came our multiple award-winning Indigenous Reporters Program. In 9 years, we've trained over 16,000 journalists and journalism students on best practices of covering Indigenous stories. Of 50 Indigenous journalists placed with mainstream media outlets, 30 have been hired full-time, and program alumni range from Willow Fiddler of the Globe and Mail to the superb Shelby Lisk, Loyalist's own, now with TVO. Loyalist College was an early and important collaborator on this program. Loyalist worked with then project lead Robin Piero on course modules outlining best practices of covering Indigenous communities, and hopefully we can do that again at some point. Through these and many other efforts, we are seeing some change in the way that Canadians understand the ongoing systemic challenges that Indigenous populations navigate every day. A poll we ran on audience perceptions of Indigenous coverage earlier this year indicated 45% of Canadian audiences believe that Indigenous coverage has expanded since 2010 when we started. Interestingly, this number goes up to 62% when Indigenous audiences are polled. That is the power of story for good. For most of its existence, JHR worked in post-conflict countries, Liberia, Congo, Sierra Leone. But when we went into South Sudan in 2015, we went straight into a hot war zone. The month before I got to Juba, the capital, President Salva Kiir called on people to shoot journalists for reporting against the state. The following day, a journalist was shot on sight. 7 journalists were killed in South Sudan that year alone. As a new mother, let's just say I wasn't sure this was the ideal career direction. But as a mentor said to me at the time, with lives at stake, this was work worth doing and risks worth taking. Fast forward to 2022, and not one journalist has died in the course of their work in South Sudan for 5 years now. That is Canadian middle power, action at its best, harnessing the power of story for good. Our work in South Sudan also prepared JHR to act swiftly when the Taliban took over Afghanistan last August. Overnight, the Taliban started reprisals against journalists. Meanwhile, Western governments were not moving fast enough to save lives. Those looking for a way out of Afghanistan faced an unacceptable number of obstacles. Imagine trying to leave a country when your bank account is frozen, or trying to secure a passport from an office whose staff would rather detain and torture you than issue you documents. Journalists for Human Rights stepped up, working with a coalition of other like-minded organizations. We raised almost $5 million, hired staff, figured out a way to get undocumented people passports, and worked with partners, government agencies, and volunteers around the clock for months. Result? To date, we have evacuated over 2,000 vulnerable Afghans. This has meant a new chapter for people like physician and fixer Rustam, not his real name, whom the Ottawa Citizen profiled this May. We evacuated Rustam and his family last fall to Pakistan. They arrived in Canada in January, and he is already back working at the Shepherd of Good Homes homeless shelter in the national capital, providing care. Running an NGO isn't just about doing the work. It's about raising funds to do the work, managing staff thousands of miles away, and working around such curveballs as the need to evacuate an entire team from a war zone. I struggled with imposter syndrome as I worked through the legacy of a charismatic founder. And as an introvert, I devoured Susan Cain's excellent 2012 book, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And for any of the introverts in this room, I highly recommend you do the same. I realized in the process that getting the big things done, especially with small resources, is not that hard when you are inspired, when you know that the work's goals and outcomes are so much bigger than you, and that the joy in this particular line of work is in the work itself. In failed state after failed state, I've seen how learning to harness the power of story for good makes people reach for greatness themselves. It led to leadership from journalists in Syria who worked together in 2018 with Journalists for Human Rights Support to ask who was responsible when a man in northern Syria killed his sister and live-streamed the act on Facebook. In response to stories that these journalists produced with JHR support, the Syrian Islamic Council issued a fatwa calling out all honor killing in the region as un-Islamic. Don't know about you, but I kind of like the idea of fighting femicide with fatwas. And this is what is possible when you can harness the power of story for good. I hope that these stories give you some notion of the potential that lies within you and that lies ahead in journalism, in communication, in leadership. But I do want to underscore one very important point. Through all the joy and all the craziness of what is to come, it is crucial that you understand the nature of the power that you as journalists and communicators and leaders will wield, and how fundamentally important the career path of journalism is to the future of democracy. At the current moment, Journalists for Human Rights spends almost half its time working to train journalists on how to safely debunk disinformation and misinformation on social media. The Russian conflict in Ukraine has helped us all understand how the Russian state has weaponized information. This is the power of story for bad. Why does this matter? We cannot govern ourselves, the fundamental premise of a democracy, if we cannot agree on the facts with which to inform that governance. Consider the impact that disinformation campaigns are having currently on Canadian public life. In February, 1 week after the Canadian government announced military support for Ukraine, we had a group of protesters aggressively occupy Parliament Hill, some calling for the violent overthrow of a democratically elected government. I asked JHR collaborator Marcus Kolga of Disinfo Watch to start tracking the social media accounts that protesters were using to organize themselves. And sure enough, by March, some of those accounts were openly sharing Russian state propaganda. The damage is profound. Canadians pitted against Canadians, with the Canadian flag repurposed as a symbol of freedom from a civil society. This is how vulnerable we are to the power of story for bad. And that's where you all come in. As you advance in your careers, please keep in mind the power that you wield. The power of story can be used for good, to hold corrupt politicians to account, to direct attention to communities in need, to inspire, inform, and educate. But it can also be used for bad. So I ask you to step up to the global war on facts and truth and fight back with strong journalism that centers human rights and democracy. Many of you will end up in roles, whether you know it now or not, where you will have the power to inform, support, and reinforce this imperfect democratic system that we all hold so dear. You will also have the power to choose to erode it. As you step into your future, use that power wisely, empathetically, and kindly. Democracy itself depends on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us on this special occasion and delivering such a memorable, thought-provoking, and inspiring address to the graduating class of 2022. I'm pleased to announce that the Board of Governors, by virtue of the authority vested in it, has authorized me to award Ms. Rachel Pulford the highest tribute of Loyalist College, an honorary diploma in applied arts, in recognition of her distinguished career in media development, which changes lives through empowering journalists to report on human rights and governance issues in conflict zones across the world and right here at home through the Indigenous Reporters Program. Loyalist College is privileged to have Ms. Rachel Pulford address Convocation 2022 and accordingly pays to her its highest academic tribute.
Thank you. Okay, we've come to the formal part of our ceremony, where certificates, diplomas, and awards will be presented. President Vaughan, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled have qualified in all respects for diplomas by successfully completing curricula offered by the School of Media, Business, and Access at Loyalist College. They have been recommended by faculty to be awarded certificates or diplomas in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of Loyalist College, I do hereby confer on our graduates their respective Ontario College certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
President Vaughan, on behalf of the graduates not present today, I request that you confer their certificates and diplomas in absentia.
I so do.
Kathleen Basker, Dean of the School of Media, Business and Access, will oversee the conferring of certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas, and awards. During the next part of the program, we will be presenting the graduates from business and media programs who will proceed across the stage to receive congratulations from President Vaughan. Dean Basker.
Thank you, Vice President Monteith. President Vaughan, it is my distinct pleasure to present the recipients of Ontario College certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas in business accounting, business administration accounting, business sales and marketing, advertising and marketing communications, creative design, broadcasting radio, animation and game development, film and television production, journalism communications, journalism online print and broadcast, photojournalism, and sports and entertainment, sales and marketing. Presenting graduates from business accounting. Sharifa Flynn Nashra Abdul Kapoor. Osborne Algageje. Neil Boudreau. Neil has also been awarded the Welch LLP Chartered Professional Accountants Award for the highest grade in the taxation course in the accounting program. Courtney Eberhardt. Hannah Hill. Nathaniel Molker. Randy Pilau. Presenting graduates from Business Administration Accounting. Melina Conlon. Melina also graduated from Business Accounting in 2021. Jet Wanamaker. Jet also graduated from Business Accounting in 2021. Presenting graduates from our business program. Nicole Cairns. Carver Divot. Andrew Forsyth. Sukhmanpreet Kaur. Cody LaBelle Babcock. Curtis Meehan. Granatura Heather Badangu. Sarah Routier. Sarah is also the recipient of the Robert Thompson Award for a high GPA and successfully completing the Business Student Project Award. Priya Sadalpara. Mandeep Singh. Dalen Steinke. Dalen is also the recipient of the Stephen Hope Memorial Award for a high GPA and has the highest marks in the Business Communications Computer Applications 1 and 2 courses. Cheryl Tresher. Presenting graduates in the Business Sales and Marketing program. Bridget Burke Purdy. Bridget is a recipient of the Loyalist College Business Sales and Marketing Paul Gaudet Award for an overall outstanding business and sales marketing graduate. James Graham. Chase McNulty. Melanie Riley. Melanie is also the recipient of the Loyalist College Business Sales and Marketing Paul Gaudet Award for an overall outstanding business, sales, and marketing graduate. AJ Rathod. Curtis Tapp. Presenting graduates from the Advertising and Marketing Communications Creative Design program. Nibibin Pragnashbai, Dave. Shannon Gay. Manpreet Kaur. Christina Somerville. Dylan Lamoureux. Olivia Wilson. Presenting graduates from the Broadcasting Radio program. Robert Baird. Robert Walks Slowly is also the recipient of several awards: the Cool 100 and Hits 95.5 Starboard Communications Award, the Country 105 and Energy 99.7 Radio Bell Media Award, the Mix 97 Quinty Broadcasting Award Top On-Air Performer, and the MyFM 88.7 and Oldies 100.9 Leadership Award. Ian Linton. Ian is also the recipient of the Broadcast Radio Faculty Award. Presenting graduates from the Animation and Game Development program. Allison Altman. Christopher Bell. Madison Brown. Zach Commodore. Spencer Grieg. Gaurav Singh Jaiswal. Aswathman Kandasamy. Alexander Lucas. Vinayak Mahajan. James Meyer. Nata Spolder. Presenting graduates from the Film and Television Production Program. Henry Banks. Damien Chevrier. Ginger DeJong. Ashley Doublestein. Hayden Fairfield. Kristen Gardner. Maria Gates. Elizabeth Hiltz. Georgina Choloparambil Joshi. Michael Cairns. Corey Marr. Heather Nicholson. Cameron Norman. Adelaide Parks. Kimberly Potier. Charles Smith. Cole Vance. Aislinn Woody Wood. Presenting graduates from the Journalism, Online, Print, and Broadcast program. Felicia Massey. Rhythm Rati. Charlotte Woodwall. Charlotte is also the recipient of the Tony Grace Award for exemplifying creativity, strategic thinking, people skills, and problem-solving abilities. Maria Taves. Maria is also the recipient of the Jane Harrison Award for exemplifying creativity, strategic thinking, people skills, and problem solving. Presenting graduates for photojournalism. Luke Best. Ethan Cairns. Adriana Duncan. Bradley Edgley. Ronald Lavoie. Alexander Lupol. Sabah Rahman. Paige White. Zadman Zeman. and presenting graduates from the Sports and Entertainment Sales and Marketing program. Josh Hill. Michael Mathieu. Rahul Sani. This concludes the conferring of diplomas for the business and media programs. Congratulations.
Basker. Everyone, please join me in congratulating today's graduates.
Thank you so much. Well, this concludes Loyalist College's 55th Convocation ceremonies. To our distinguished guests, the college community members, friends, and family, thank you for being here with us today to mark this really special occasion. To our graduates, congratulations once again. All the very best to you, and we really look forward to hearing what you do next. Now, I'd like you to know that you're invited to join us for a reception in the gardens at the main entrance of the Kenty building immediately following the ceremony. You can just follow the platform party out and join us in the garden. And now I would ask that everyone would please rise for the singing of the Royal Anthem and remain standing for the recessional. Thank you.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her